Hello, I'm Bood and welcome to the channel. As always, thanks for joining me. It's massively appreciated. Make sure you do everything you can to help me out. I know you want to. Hit the thumbs up, get involved in the comments, subscribe if you're new, and hit that bell, and you'll never miss anything I do. So, this is the age-old question. How would Rangers and Celtic from Scotland, two of the biggest clubs in Britain, if not the world, do in England in the Premier League? It's something people debate and talk about quite a lot, and it would be quite interesting to see, not just to see how well they do in England, but to see what happens to Scottish football if they left. Now, I was watching TikTok the other week, and there was a guy in Glasgow with a microphone in the street asking questions to various people, Rangers and Celtic fans, and he was asking them this question. Now, I don't know if he edited it this way, but it was like 50-50. Some were saying, yeah, it would be great. We've got the fan base, got the stadium. After a couple of years of getting that Premier League money, we'd be up there. And then there was others who were like, no, I think we'd be in the Championship. So I want to see. So I put it together, a little experiment, and we're going to go all the way to 2050, give them a lot of time in England to see how they do. We're also going to check out Scotland to see how they do without him. And we'll see not only who comes out on top, and I know it's only a simulation, anything could happen, so it doesn't really mean anything. But will those big stadiums and those big fan bases, once the clubs start getting that Premier League money, will they thrive? Let's find out. We're going to start here with the Kinch Premiership. Scotland's top flight, Celtic are the current title holders on this game. Now, I'm using an updated database, and obviously I've had to move things around on top of that as well. But it is what it is. But this is the Premiership. And this is the season odds. Now, in theory, you'd imagine, because they are so big, Rangers and Celtic, if they moved away, all these other clubs, there's not a lot in a lot of them, it would become so much more competitive, wouldn't it? And I mean, I love Scottish football growing up. I love it. I've got great family links to Scotland. Would it make it more interesting? Would it be a fun league to watch? Because not knowing who's going to win it, more battles for trophies. It'll never happen. I don't think it should. I think Rangers and Celtic are Scottish clubs, and they mean a lot to Scotland. But it is an interesting question, so we're going to find out. So here we are with the Premier League. Like I said, it's an updated database, but certain things haven't been changed. So we've got the point deductions for Everton and Forest, but, might help Rangers and Celtic out. So let's just check out the odds. Well, just putting these clubs straight into the Premier League, got Celtic predicted to be 15th and Rangers predicted to be 17th. We see a team go straight down. So this is Rangers now in the Premier League. So all you have to do in the editor, if you ever want to do this, best way to do it, I think, and the way I always do it, because I always forget myself, is go to a club like Cardiff or Swansea, who are Welsh and in Wales, play in England, and you just go on their profile page on the editor and just copy it like for like with whatever you want to do. So, there's still a Scottish club, Rangers. They just play their football in the English League and they play their European football through English League. So that's all I've done. So when it comes to the clubs, I've not changed the owners, I've not changed the players, the managers, the fans, the capacity. The finances are what they would have had if they were still in Scotland. But of course, hopefully over the next few years, if you can stay in the Premier League, they're going to get that Premier League money, maybe better sponsorships, maybe be able to attract different kinds of players and compete maybe, or crash and burn. Now, the one thing I did do, the only thing I've changed is one thing with actual money, not the sponsorships like I said. I think when you go into the game originally, Rangers might only have about 10 or 15 million. I think Celtic have got 70. So I've just given them an equal playing field, like a little, there you go, you're in the Premier League. They've got 50 million each, 50 million to spend. So it's fair. But nothing else, training facilities, all the same. And when we talk about training facilities, they've got great ones, haven't they? They have massive teams. I mean, it's something I would love to do. I think it's a bucket list for everyone, every football fan in the world, to go to an Old Firm derby. Because at either stadium, I think it'd be absolutely amazing. Now, my close friends know which team's my favourite. I never openly say it on YouTube because you can get into a bit of trouble with stuff like this. I've done Rangers stuff before and I've had loads of grief off Celtic fans, and if you do a Celtic video, you get grief off Rangers fans. There's a lot of rivalry, like deep-heated rivalry, isn't there, between your lot, if you are a fan of either of these teams. I've got a very good friend, he's one of my best friends, I've known him years, Brian Kane. If you're a long-time subscriber, he's been in millions of videos. He's a Rangers fan, season ticket holder. And then I had a great friend I used to work with for nearly 10 years, called Martin His name was Martin Farquhar. But the way he said it is Martin Farker. I said that before. I used to laugh my head off. He's a diehard Celtic fan. So, you know, I know people who love both teams. But like I said, it's a simulation. Anything could happen. It doesn't mean one team's better than the other. I've just basically holidayed. We're going to jump forward 10 years and just see how that initial 10 years happens. And then we're going to go to the year 2050, where they've had a long time in England, and then really see what's happened. So we've now jumped forward 10 years. It's 2033. And I know it's about Rangers and Celtic in the Premier League, but I think this video's also got to be about Scotland and how they do without him. And so this is the Premiership in Scotland, and Aberdeen are the current title holders. And that's something I thought, are Aberdeen just going to become the dominant force in Scotland? No, not really. I mean, they've won 3, but that's good, isn't it? That would make this league so much more interesting. Look at it. Hibs, Ross County, Hibs, Aberdeen, Ross County, Dunfermline getting themselves a title. Scottish Cup. I mean, it's looking like Ross County, Aberdeen are 2 of the main forces. We've got St Johnstone on there, Kilmarnock, and then the League Cup. Look at that. So Celtic win that League Cup. I don't know if that's happened, but it has. Right, okay, maybe it's the format. But obviously they've moved to England, but were they still in the tournament somehow because of when it's played? So that's quite cool for Celtic. Bit of extra pressure on them compared to Rangers. I did not know that would happen. I don't really know what's happened, I'll be honest with you. They've just done a lot of holiday and have been very busy this weekend. Let's look at the Premier League. Are they still there? Celtic. Yep. And I can't see Rangers. Rangers, where are you? In the Championship. Ooh, what's been going on? So here we are with Rangers, who are in the Championship, obviously still at Ibrox. I don't think the capacity has changed. And Enzo, I can't say his second name. Isn't that the Leicester manager that's just gone to Chelsea? It is. It is. He's younger than me, you know. I saw a picture of him going to Chelsea. I was like, all right, who's he? Did a bit of research on him because I think he started his career at West Brom. He ended up at Juve, but he started his career at West Brom, which I found crazy. I can't believe he's younger than me. Felt quite good. So what happened? Well, they got relegated straight away, bottom of the league, came straight back up in second, and then got relegated. And then they've spent the last few years wobbling around in the Championship. So it's not looking too good for Rangers right now. Of course, they've got a ton of trophies, and this is something I want to keep my eye on. I'm hoping one of the teams at least can pick up a trophy. But obviously they've not yet. Here we are with Celtic, who have Domenico Tedesco as their manager. Obviously still at Celtic Park. That's something I was wondering as well. With them being in the Premier League, having more money, will they actually leave their spiritual homes? I hope they don't. Hope they don't. Just improve them. I'd be gutted if they did. But they're in the Premier League. But they too haven't been a steady Premier League team. Look at that. So they finished 17th. So Rangers went down. They nearly went down. Then they did go down. And they spent a couple of years in the Championship, but won it. So they've got an English trophy right there. Went straight back down, straight back up, stayed, relegated, and they've just been promoted. So of course, it's not much when it comes to the trophies with Rangers and Celtic, but Celtic do have that Champions League, first British team to win it, weren't they? So with a full Scottish team, something to think. Would never ever happen again, so it's quite special. But they've got not only 2 Sky Bet Championships, as we know, they've somehow picked up a Carabao Cup when they've been going up and down. Fair play. And they did that 3 years ago by beating Middlesbrough in the final at Wembley. Well, it's like Celtic are winning so far because at least they're back in the Premier League and they've got some English trophies. So these are the odds for the Championship, and Rangers don't look good. What is going on? Predicted to be 13th. God, things need to change for the Gers. Celtic have been promoted, but look like they're in a decent, strong position because the bookies have got them 14th. Wow. Right. So, like I said, I've gone all the way to 2050. I've not looked. I've just had it holiday and checking on dates, trying to keep my eyes on things. Yesterday afternoon. But what's going to happen? I think we just get right into the good bit, get right to the end and see. Starting in Scotland, yes, it's 2050, and this is the Premiership in Scotland, where Ross County are the current title holders. Last time we looked, it was 2033, and Aberdeen had just won it. They went on the rampage then, winning title after title after title. Dunfermline got one back, and then Aberdeen went on another run, And then Ross County just got one back. In the Scottish Cup, Aberdeen had won it, I think, last time we looked. But then look at that. Cove Rangers. Greenock Morton won a Scottish Cup. I love that. And the best bit, Ayr United. If you know, you know why I like Ayr United. And the League Cup, Dunfermline had won it, but then Hibs, Dunfermline. I mean, there's a good mixture there. Dundee, actual Dundee. No way. Livingston, Growth. So it does make it more interesting without them, doesn't it? So should we look at the Premier League? And Celtic are in it, but so are Rangers. The Rangers are in the Premier League. But how long have they been in the Premier League? We find out. Well, this is their main page. You're still at Ibrox, and Ibrox has had some capacity increase there. Wasn't it 51? Now 64,000. I love that they stayed there and just improved the stadium. Mark McGuinness is the manager. He looks about 12. Who's this geezer? He's Irish. He's 49 years old. Was manager of Hearts and Kilmarnock, and he's been out to Saudi. Now he's here at Rangers. So obviously the main graph only goes back to 2030. I think we last looked at 2033. So they did just continue to stay in the Championship, even finishing 16th. But then look at this. Look at that. Slow improvement over the years. Steady like top 17. Finished 6. Finished 6 again the next year. Obviously won the playoffs. Straight into the Premier League. Had a storm in mid-table. Finally solidified himself. Then finished 3rd, 4th. So that's Champions League football for a good few years. Extra money. Then they got a 6th, a 3rd, and a 2nd. Now Celtic, still at Celtic Park. I don't think they've increased that capacity. I'm pretty sure that's the same. Maybe should have made a note. I didn't. They've got Lewis Cook as their manager. He's manager of Palace, West Brom, Lincoln. Now he's got his big job at Celtic. Lewis Cook got a cap. When did Lewis Cook get a cap for England? I have zero memory of that. Did he? Got to have been against Gibraltar or something. Now, last time we looked, they were in the Premier League and they got a 13th and a 17th. Then they were relegated again. I mean, you remember in the first bit, they were up and down, up and down. They were still doing that. Finished 6th in the Championship, then 4, so that would have been a playoff win. Then they came up and did quite well, mid-table-ish, and they've been up and down a bit, really. For that seesaw, to the point where they got 15th, then 19th and got relegated. So they would, in the Championship, must have been last year, just come 2nd and got themselves just this year back in the Premier League. It's definitely turned around there, hasn't it? Because Rangers just look like a Championship team in the first 10 years, but they've just, something happened and they've grown and grown and grown. Celtic can't really, I suppose they did all right and they've had that good period and then they've gone down and come back up recently. But as the tables have turned, because Rangers are now predicted this season, which I'm not playing obviously, to be 5th, and then the Champions League, they won something. And then Celtic, who have just been promoted, one of the favourites to maybe go down. With, unfortunately, what the hell's happened in 2050? Man United. I've only just been, oh my God. That could happen in real life, couldn't it? I support Man United if you don't know. Look at that, that's embarrassing. So I don't know what trophies have been won. We do know Celtic obviously won a Carabao Cup and a couple of championships. But we'll have a look at that in a minute. I'm quite excited to find out. This is the Premier League. Look at United early doors. We're amazing. How have United gone from that, this new domination, to getting relegated? I need to check that out. I know it's nothing to do with United. What the hell? What the... Not only that, they got relegated. Oh, man. And stayed there for a couple of years. And then went up, went back down, come back up. Come on, what the... Part of me wants to do a Man United rebuild with this save. Anyway, right. Because Celtic, I think, are the lowest team at the minute, rep-wise, I think we should look at what they've done. And if we look... Nothing. So obviously the Champions League, forget that. All the Scottish trophies, forget that. They had 2 Sky Bet championships and they have that Carabao Cup they won in the first 10 years. Rangers top that. Well, yeah. I'd say so. Blimey. Obviously they had the Cup Winners' Cup trophy. They've now got a Champions League trophy of their own, an FA Cup, a Super Cup, a Europa League, a Carabao Cup. Yeah, I think Rangers have definitely turned out to do better. They've really come strong in the last few years, but that has shocked me, really. The kind of trophies they've won, I'd say everything apart from Premier League, aren't they? Carabao and an FA Cup, They've won themselves a Champions League. They won the Europa League. But forget the Conference League. I mean, that'd have been nice as well. Just no Premier League. But if I went another 10 years, could they? They just finished second in the Premier League. So they're obviously growing and doing all right. So let's see how Rangers won them trophies. We know Celtic beat Middlesbrough in the Carabao Cup. But if we go up, when did Rangers win it? They beat Sunderland in 2045. And they also won the FA Cup. Let's find out who they beat. They beat Chelsea in 2047. In the Europa League, Man United won one. Wow. Let's go up. And then in 2049, they beat Sevilla. And in the Champions League, let's go up. They beat Newcastle, who are obviously a good team because they went on to win it the year after beating Real Madrid. We can't go through all the players and everything. It takes forever. I just want to have a look at some of the top players. So I'm going to look at the 3 most highest valued players on each team. Starting with Conor Duran, who is Scottish and 21. I mean, he's all right. I wouldn't say he's worth that much money. Antonio Gordillo from Spain, who's 30. And why is he unavailable for next match? Not in so is he new? Francis, a right back from Brazil. We're going to Rangers. You can just see that they've been in that top flight for a bit more. I mean, the top tier of English football, getting that Champions League money, Champions League football, because them values straight away just tell you a lot. I mean, Brian Bailey, who's he? Northern Irish, 26. He's all right, isn't he? Hart Vasgard. I mean, he looks good. Elite striker, although he could score more goals, surely. And then we've got Sammy. Look at that name. Sammy, left winger. They've got some ballers there, though, haven't they? What happens, I think they just cracked that Champions League, stayed there. I mean, that wage bill looks like it could be crazy. I mean, what we're talking, salary per annum, 300 million, compared with Celtics of 78.5 million. So like I said, it's not a diss on either club. You know, Rangers have obviously done better in this simulation. You could probably run it again. Anything can happen. It could have been injury. It could have been a certain manager just got the ball rolling down that hill and pushed him into that Champions League. Celtic were doing better at the beginning, but something obviously happened. I mean, look at Man United. How'd you go from... I can't wrap my head around that. I don't think I've ever seen United get relegated on anything I've ever done. Ever. Even, they might not win stuff, but they've never got relegated in any game I've played. So it's been 27 years running this simulation, and I can't go through all the transfers. A lot of them will be regens / new gens, depending on your age and your point of view. But I have added up what each team has spent. And Celtic spent, over that period, 1.3 billion, which is a lot of money. But, you know, when you think about it, I think City and United have probably spent that in a 10-year period. But still a lot of money. And they've still done really well. They still won trophies. They've just maybe just come short in this simulation. Rangers, on the other hand, spent 1.8 billion. And you can kind of see the trend when you go through the transfers. When the last few years when they've been in the Champions League, they're spending more, but they've got the money to and the ability to. They obviously improved their stadium, took it above Celtic Park as well. I'm just glad they both stayed in their own stadiums, and they've both done really well. Both been decent teams, and obviously Rangers are just having a bit of luck at the minute. I mean, I could simulate in another 20 years. Look at what happened to United on this simulation, winning loads of leagues, and then they get relegated. So, you know, anything could change. You could keep going and going and things would happen. So it's just a generalised look, but I think it made Scotland way more interesting. I think that'd be a great save to play. Just for a bit of fun, something different, especially if you're a fan of different Scottish teams or you like Scottish football, but you just wish it was a bit more fun. A good friend of mine recently was tried a save in Scotland and has got bored of it very quickly because of Rangers and Celtic. So, you know, it could be fun for that if you want to try that out yourself. But it's just good to look, and it's giving me other ideas. But before I talk about that and wrap up this video, I've just gone to the Scotland national team, because one of the things I was thinking about was, with it being more competitive, would the players get better? And I don't know, because Scotland's got a decent team, really. They've got some really good players in real life at the minute. When I was just looking at some of these players, they look quite good, don't they? Some of them playing at good teams. Now, I'm not saying, I mean, obviously a lot of them might come from Rangers and Celtic. I'm not saying it's helped, but has it? Because they've got quite a lot of decent players. And Scotland are ranked 20th in the world. So, I don't know, maybe it helps Scotland as a nation, football-wise, chucking Celtic and Rangers out. Maybe. So there we go. That is the end of the video. I would love to know down below in the comments what you think of this whole age-old debate about Rangers and Celtic. Should they someday move out of England to compete more? Would they do well? Do you think they'd crash and burn in real life? Or do you think it should stay the same? Personally, I just think it should. But nothing against them. I mean, it'd be quite fun maybe if they did. But there's only Scottish teams. I think they should be playing in Scotland. I just wish other teams could compete a bit more. That's my point of view. Now, my idea, and the reason I'm wearing my favourite training top, my Boca Juniors. I love Boca Juniors. Done a series with Boca Juniors. Go and check it out last year. Booze Boca Boys. Is I want to do this again, but I want to do it with 4 teams, like iconic teams that are not from Germany or something, or Scotland or France, like Boca Juniors. So I've picked Boca Juniors to put in the Premier League, and I'm hoping you guys in the comments will give me ideas. I might not pick it. I'm going to hopefully be inspired by some of you to pick 3 other teams, iconic teams, from maybe random nations, or who might have a realistic chance of competing because they've got the stadium, fan base, they're just playing in a weaker league or the other side of the world. So give me some ideas to fill out the 3 empty slots. I'll try and get that video made next week. I'd love to see how Boca do. I love Boca Juniors. So as always, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, get involved in the comments, subscribe if you're new, and hit that bell, and you will never miss anything I do. I'm looking forward to hearing all your points of view and hopefully some of your ideas. Hope you've had a great weekend. Hope you're happy. Hope you're safe. Don't forget to check out the Peaky Buddhas, my Birmingham City save. Episode 1 and 2 are out. Episode 3 should be out maybe Monday, Tuesday after this video comes out. And appreciate all the views and support. I really do at this moment in time. So thank you. Yeah, stay happy, stay safe. I'm Bood. Bye-bye.